Hi, I'm Miss Ryan, and this is our grade 2 science class. And today we're going to be doing a lesson on clouds and different kinds of clouds and how they are formed. So, to begin the lesson, I'm going to ask you guys, we're going to do an experiment today involving shaving cream, and we're going to use spoons as well to show how clouds are formed and what they look like. So, my first question is, we're gonna use shaving cream, so you guys are gonna get your own little space, and you're gonna get a dab of shaving cream each, so that's gonna represent your cloud. But my first question is, why can't clouds be made of shaving cream? Does anyone have an answer? Charlotte?
Because shaving cream isn't in the sky.
That's a good point. Well, also, shaving cream is not made up of the same thing clouds are. Does anyone have any ideas of what clouds are made of? Charlotte?
Water?
That's a good guess, and it is quite accurate. So, clouds are actually a large collection of very tiny water droplets or ice crystals. The droplets are so small and light that they can float in the air. Does anyone know how they're formed? No? Well, all air contains water, so your answer was right. But near the ground, it is usually in the form of an invisible gas. So, that's called water vapor. When warm air rises, it expands, and the cool air can't hold as much water vapor as warm air. So some of the water vapor shrinks into tiny little pieces of dust that are floating in the air, and the air forms a tiny droplet around each dust particle, and when billions of these droplets come together, they become a cloud in the sky. So, today we're gonna concentrate, we have our little cloud posters here. We're going to concentrate on 3 main types of clouds. Does anyone know any types of clouds? Anyone want to take a guess at any type of cloud you think of in the sky?
Fluffy?
Fluffy.
Rain clouds.
Rain clouds, that's a good one. So, we're going to talk about cirrus clouds, stratus clouds, and cumulus clouds. So, on our chart here we have some descriptions. But I'll give you, first we're going to do just a little drawing just so everyone can kind of get an idea of what the clouds look like before we actually make it, so that when we use the shaving cream we can kind of experiment and make the different kinds of clouds. So first I want you to visualize this and draw what you think the description is, okay? So, a cirrus cloud, that's the first one, is the most common of the high clouds. So they stay high up in the sky. So these are composed of ice and are thin, wispy clouds blown high winds into long streamers. So they're like wispy, long streamers in the sky. So draw what you think those would look like first. So this is cirrus clouds. Everyone done their picture? That's good. So, as you can see on the cloud chart right here, can anyone pick out which one is the cirrus cloud? Which one do you think?
That one.
Great. Okay, now we'll move on to stratus. So I'll give you the description of stratus. So these are grayish clouds that often cover the entire sky, and they resemble fog that doesn't reach the ground. And sometimes when we see gray clouds, what do you think sometimes it can produce? If you see gray clouds in the sky. Anybody?
Rain?
Rain. Yes, so it can cause sometimes light mist or drizzle sometimes falls out of these clouds. So they're grayish clouds that cover the entire sky. So draw what you think those look like. Anyone coloring them in really dark? Looks good. So we got some dark clouds there. Good job, Charlotte. So the last one we're gonna do is cumulus clouds. So these are probably the clouds that you described earlier, puffy. So these are white puffy clouds that look like pieces of floating cotton in the sky. The base is flat, so the bottom of them is flat, and the top has rounded towers. And does anyone know a kind of vegetable that's white and kind of puffy on the top that it reminds them of? No?
Cauliflower?
You're right. They say these do resemble cauliflower, so when you're drawing, just kind of picture that compared to, so remember that it's flat on the base and puffy on the top. So draw what you think those look like. So, does everyone see the differences of what they look like? Everyone understands? So, without looking at your sheet, what would the stratus cloud be? Anybody?
The gray bodies.
Right? And what about cumulus? Fluffy.
Cauliflower.
Okay, and what about cirrus?
Wispy streamers.
Okay, so when we do our shaving cream, when I first give you the dab, I want you to write down what you think it looks like at the very first stage. Okay? So I'll collect everyone's sheets. So you got space. These are very good drawings.
Thanks.
Okay, so we're going to. Okay, so is everyone ready? It's gonna be a little messy, but don't worry, you don't need your spoon.
Oh.
Not yet. Okay.
Cool.
So, if you were to describe your shaving cream dab, what would you say yours looks like, Thomas?
Cumulus.
Cumulus? Why does it look like cumulus?
Because it's fluffy and flat on the bottom.
Fluffy and flat on the bottom, right. Charlotte, what does yours look like?
Cumulus.
Cumulus? Okay.
No?
Why?
Because it's flat on the bottom and puffy on the top.
Right. Okay. So, if we wanted to make cirrus cloud, how do you think you would do that?
You couldn't with shaving cream.
Couldn't? Why not?
Might not work.
Might not work.
Because
Well-
it's wispy.
You can use your spoons if you'd like.
Oh.
See if you can make what kind of, if you were to describe the cirrus clouds, what do they look like?
Wispy?
Wispy? Okay, so how would you make them wispy? Like streamers. Those look great. Those look great. Okay, so unfortunately we can't really make stratus clouds. Why not?
Because shaving cream is white.
Right.
There's no black.
You're right. And we can't produce any what?
Rain.
Right. So, because we're using shaving cream. But does anyone have any comments about the clouds, the different types? Before we move on to the next activity?
I like the fluffy ones.
You like the fluffy ones?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
They're fluffy.
Thomas, do you have a favorite?
I like the stratus
You like
clouds.
the stratus? Okay, so now that we know our different kinds of clouds, we're going to move on to our next activity, and we're just gonna clean up our little area first. Okay, so